what we're doing today is a couple of, or not a couple, but a fish sandwich. This is going to be using tilapia. I buy big bags of frozen tilapia. They come individually packaged, like individual fillets like this. Oh, let me make sure that the stream is working. Okay, yep, good. Alright. So yeah, they come individually wrapped, so it's real nice and convenient. So I got the oven heated up to 400. I just have a pan and I put some foil in here. And then you spray your foil so the fish doesn't stick. And just open up the little packages. And go over them to make sure like all the scales and stuff are off. Yep, that one's good. So this is going to be a very, very, very big sandwich, but it's also a very healthy sandwich. So like the trick to eating healthy food and being full, just make big portions. And as long as you're using pretty much like 70% is veggies, you're good to go. You can make your food as big as you want it to be. Alright, so 2 pieces of tilapia into the oven. That's going to take between like 7 and 10 minutes. It's just all going to depend. So then what we're putting on the actual sandwich, I have tomato, green olives, black olives, cucumber, avocado, lettuce, just regular old iceberg, some cocktail sauce. This is zesty. It has horseradish in it. And then some lemon. So alright, let's get going on this stuff. I'm going to wash these tomatoes. It's always a good idea. Wash anything you get from the grocery store. If you don't, you're just kind of setting yourself up to get sick. Even if you buy like bagged stuff, like if you buy like big bags of spinach or whatever, when you get home, just throw it all into like a colander and wash it off as you're using it, because you can get really sick. It seems like at least once a year there's a report about, you know, something being recalled because everyone's getting like salmonella or whatever. It's because a lot of places they use manure as a fertilizer, and so if it doesn't properly get cleaned, you're eating poop, literally. So with your lettuce, you just want to cut it nice and thin, so it's kind of like a shred. In chef terms, it would be a julienne, which is, all that means is just cut it into strips. Alright, so we got a nice little pile of lettuce. We got some cucumber. I always like, when I like cut up my veggies, like when I'm doing like the preparation stuff, I do the stuff that's more dry first. Like I'm going to be cutting up tomatoes and olives. I'm going to do those last because they put a lot of juice on the board. And you don't have to do this. This is just a force of habit for me. I always cut 4 sides on cucumbers. I don't know. I had that ingrained to me doing chef work. I always had to do this. And so it's just like force of habit. But one thing that this does is it makes it so it sits flat. It won't roll around now. That way when you're cutting it, you don't have to worry about it like coming out from underneath you. So you just want to cut these into, I don't know, just thin little discs. Alright, there's our cucumber. Can move that over. Alright, now we'll do some tomatoes. So when you're doing your tomatoes, just go nice and gentle. You don't want to push really hard because I'm cutting these pretty thin. You know, you only want them to be about that thick. So don't push hard. And the tomatoes I'm using are really, really ripe too. So if I were to push hard, they would just crush and squirt out all over. And that's not what we want. We want these to retain all the juices. You know, again, if you don't like a certain veggie, you don't have to use it. You can always use something else. But believe you me, I have refined this recipe over and over and over. And the funny thing is, I absolutely hate olives, but they're essential in this. If you don't use olives, you are missing out. But I hate olives. I can't eat olives like by their own. I know people that can just like eat these things, you know, solo, just like pop them in their mouth and just like, oh my god, dude, it's the grossest thing ever. They're just so salty. Come on. Alright, so we have our olives. Get that out of the way so you can see a little better. So then what you're just going to do, you're going to chop these up nice and fine. You're going to pretty much mince these. And a mince is a small dice. And you don't have to do this quick, you know, you can just take your time while you're doing this. I mean, I guess if you like olives, you don't need to cut them up really fine. I just do it like this because I don't want to end up biting into like a huge piece of it. So I get this stuff really, really, really finely chopped. Right, there we go. Got our little pile of chopped olives. So that's black olives and green olives. And get them pitted, unless you want to pit them yourself, which would just be a pain in the butt. Gotta wash off the old knife. Alright, so our prep is almost done now. All we gotta do is our avocado, and we will be good to go. So I'm gonna start putting some of this stuff away. And the fish will be done in probably another like 3 minutes or so. So this is another really quick recipe. Really easy to do. The only thing you're cooking is the fish. Alright, so when you're doing an avocado, here, let me get up here. You want to cut little strips into it, but don't push hard enough so you're going through the back side. So to do this, you want to have like a nice ripe avocado. So once you do that, then you just go across it again. So now it's like pre-diced, and so when you're gonna remove it, all you do is you take a spoon and just scoop underneath it, and all these little cross checks that you just did come out as little squares. So to take avocado pits out, just hit your knife into them and twist it, and it'll stick right on there. Then you just want to square down it. And then go across. Hopefully you guys can see that. I'm trying to hold it so you can see it. Alright, let's look at the fish. Fish has about another 2 minutes or so. So we can finish doing our cleanup. All this stuff can get thrown out. Alright, let's grab our bread. So the bread I'm using, I just got it up at Walmart. This is the first time I've gotten this kind of bread. I got it last night, and this stuff is fantastic. If you've ever heard of an everything bagel, it just means they put like all like the typical bagel toppings on top of a bagel. So it has like onion, garlic, poppy seed, all that kind of stuff. This is everything bread. It has all that stuff on top of this bread, and it's a really, really nice, soft French bread. So what you do is just cut down the side. Try not to cut all the way through. Alright, so then you open it up, and then you use your thumb to kind of pinch and roll forward, because you want to take all like this extra inside of the bread out. It'll make like a nice little cavity for you to sit all the sandwich stuff right in it. But don't get rid of this bread. Save that bread. You can put that into like a food processor with like some olive oil and herbs. You can make seasoned breadcrumbs that way. You could mix in like butter and white wine and then use it as like a breading for anything that you're baking. Alright, so there. We have our bread hollowed out. You can see that it's all hollowed now. There you go. Alright, so while the fish is just finishing up, which is, okay, so this is the top of the bread. We can start assembling the sammich. So you take your spoon, you run it underneath your cuts of your avocado, and it comes out real nice and easily. So 1/2 goes on the bottom, 1/2 goes on the top. And if you don't like avocado, you don't need to use avocado. Can't imagine why you wouldn't like avocado. It's like the best stuff ever. Unless like you're allergic to it. Alright, so then just kind of smash it down into the bread. You just use the back of your spoon to do that. God, avocado's so good. Alright, so next, I'm going to put some cucumber. This just gives it a nice little crunch. More cucumber. And I get the seedless kind of cucumber, even though it does have seeds in it. some tomato. Grab some of the olives. Alright, we got our olives. Grab some lettuce. Grab our zesty cocktail sauce. You can use as much or as little of this as you like. I probably use, I don't know, like 2 tablespoons. Alright, so our fish is ready to come out. Let me move that. Move our bread over here. And I got this extra piece of foil out, so when I actually assemble the sandwich, I can just kind of roll it over onto itself. Alright, so while the fish is still in the pan, you're going to add lemon juice. It's just easier to do it right here in the pan than taking it out and doing it. Grab a spoon. Alrighty. Get all the seeds off of the fish. So then what I do is I'll split each of the fillets down the middle. So you have 2 little pieces. It makes it easier to put it all together. 1 fillet. 2 fillet. 1 fillet. 2 fillet. Okay, now we can move that back. Alright, now for the part that's a little bit tricky. Let me move the sandwich part over here so you can see what I'm doing. So I bring it together and hold it like vertically. Kind of give it a little bit of a press, not much though. And then you just kind of use your thumbs to tuck all the stuff in. And then transfer it to your foil. And then from the bottom you make like a little bit of a pyramid. And then kind of crimp the ends. And that way you can progressively tighten it as you work your way up. So then you kind of seal it up, press down with a good amount of force. You don't want to do it too tough though. You don't want to like squeeze everything out. So there you go. It is your big gigantic fish sandwich. It's nice and healthy too. But I need to wrap this up with more foil. The bottom is coming undone. There you go. And so I eat it like right out of this thing. I just kind of peel down the layers while I eat it. There you go, man. Try this one. Guarantee you'll like it. Guarantee you will like it. All right.